got a lot of fun things planned in pregame on Saturday for our veterans. We constantly appreciate our veterans year-round, but this is a chance for all of us to say thank you. So we have 3 honorary captains, 107-year-old Richard Overton, that's gotten a lot of publicity this week going to the president's to see the president in Washington, will be one of our captains, and I do want to ask him what he eats and what he drinks to be 107. I'm sure he'll tell me he didn't coach football at Texas. That'd probably be one of the things that's helped him live that long. Also, Lieutenant General Stephen Hogue of the Air Force will be another honorary captain, and our own Ahmad Hall, who was served in the Marines, and he's also a pro football player. That's a wonderful story here, coming in as a walk-on and an inspiration to us all. So it'll be great to see those 3 gentlemen on the field before the game, and want everybody to be in their seats hopefully 30 minutes before the game so they can come out and say thank you to the veterans and let them all understand how much we do appreciate them, and specifically these 3. Also, before the game, Nate Boyer will receive from Commissioner Bowlesby the Big 12 Sports Person Award of the Year, because Nate is a hero of our own with all he's done for Special Forces and what he's done for our football team, and the maturity he shows, but also I think he's been a big part of this team gelling together and bonding and playing so well. Sometime in the first quarter, at a break, Steve Hatchell will also go out on the field with Jerry Gray, and he will have an on-field presentation to Jerry for his Hall of Fame induction that will come at the New York meeting at the Hall of Fame dinner. So we're very, very proud for Jerry and all the things he's accomplished at the University of Texas as well. We also have students that are putting together a rally to say turn up DKR this week, turn up DKR this weekend. Get there early and be loud and stir it up and go back to like we had for that Houston game in the 90s, even though it's an afternoon game. So appreciate those students trying to rally each other and get them stirred up some. Jonathan Gray did have his operation this morning, and it went very well. He was in recovery by 10 o'clock probably, and his parents are here in town with him. He will not be able to be on the sideline this weekend because it's too soon after his operation. We're still talking to the other guys about their safety of who can actually be on the sideline on crutches or on a scooter and try to stay behind the ball and all of those type things. So we're working with who those guys will be. All of the other injured players still have a chance to play this weekend. We're hoping all will practice today, but some will probably be a game time decision. And as we look at this game, this is 2 very similar teams, and we feel like that this game will probably come down to turnovers, which they're plus 11 in the turnover ratio, and we're plus 9, or kicking game. And it's so unique. We've returned a kickoff for a touchdown the last 2 years against Oklahoma State, and they've returned one against us. Their great punt returner, Stewart, their great kickoff returner, Gilbert. Gilbert's got 4 kickoff returns for touchdowns. So we really have to do a good job in those areas. Seniors have 2 home games left, 2 times that they're going to play on DKR the rest of their careers. And also this does have the feeling of a playoff atmosphere. High school playoffs start this weekend. Just about every young man on our team is used to going into playoffs this weekend, and there's a true playoff between Oklahoma State, Texas, and Baylor here for the last 4 weeks of the season. Questions?
Jonathan Gray, as far as the prognosis recovery, what do they say about how long it takes?
They give you a range that they're hoping he'll be ready for next fall, but he's so tough. He's passionate and emotional. I was talking to his dad last night. He's going to come out of this tougher and better than he was going in. So I don't think you can put Jonathan on a normal recovery. Just watched him on that sideline Saturday night, and it threw me off again. He was walking around, jumping up and down the dressing room with a boot on, and I'm sure at that time they had probably told him that it's most likely a torn Achilles, and he just wanting his team to win. So I think we'll see him back for next fall. He would not be in spring practice.
What about Whaley?
What they do with a knee is they let the swelling go down. They get a couple of different opinions for him, and his operation wouldn't be as soon.
Is Kennedy one of the guys you said hopefully?
Yes, we're hoping he will practice today.
How did Cedric Flowers grade out?
He did really well. That saved us the other night. When Kennedy came out at halftime, Cedric played a great game in the Alamo Bowl against Oregon State. He's kind of been up and down this year again, so we needed him to step up on Saturday night, and he did.
You mentioned including Chris Whaley at the hotel this weekend. You talked to him, and what's his psyche like? 'Cause
he is
devastating blow. He's a senior.
It really is, and I think we all saw the passion coming off the field and seeing his future and where it is. And one guy I think that can really help him is Fozzie. Here's Fozzie playing after a very difficult knee operation, and he made it all work for him and came back. But Chris was out at practice yesterday on crutches. He stayed there the whole time. He actually started the practice by breaking the team down and talking to them about being tough, and he'll be on the trip with us. He'll be in that dressing room, and he has had an amazing transformation from a quiet young man from Madisonville that didn't say much and was shy to a guy that's in their face and helping lead this football team. So I'm really, really proud of him. And he'll handle this. He will get his degree. He's been very good in school. He is a guy that won't need football for his future to eat, but I bet you he still plays in the NFL.
Coach, has there been a commonality with the last Oklahoma State wins here that y'all look back and
Usually we're behind. Very honestly, that old fast start stuff we talk about hasn't worked against Oklahoma State. They've got 71 on their roster from the state of Texas, and it'll be a very important game, obviously, to both groups because of all that's on the line. It doesn't mean that we would be out if we lost, but you don't control your own destiny if you lose. Then you've got to win out and hope somebody else helps you. But I think the biggest thing is that this game has usually come down to turnovers of some kind. We've usually had to come back in the ball game like we did last year. We had to overcome a 4th and 6 to DJ Grant. I think it matches up to be a great game. They're going to stop the box and stop the run and have a bunch in there. It's going to be hard to run the ball. We're going to stack the box, and it's going to be hard to run. So quarterbacks are going to have to hit some plays against man in the passing game. And that's they've been very opportunistic with turnovers. We've done a good job with our turnovers. So both quarterbacks have played well. So it's there's a lot of similarities that one of the coaches said early in the week, looks like we're playing each other because that's who we are in practice.
Y'all adjust your kickoff coverage team any this week, given the problems you had and the guy they have back there?
Do you know when Nick Rose has kicked it well, he kicks it out. And I thought we got too fancy last week and started trying to kick across and do this and do that. We messed with him too much. So this guy's really good. I think he's probably as good as anybody in the country at returning kickoffs, just watching him. And we'll have Marcus Johnson back there with DeJay as well. We thought Marcus did a good job on his one return last week.
Why do you think you always fall behind in games? Even your best two teams in 04 and 05 were down big early. Why is this opponent always seems to get on top of you?
I don't really know. I do think that probably when you look at it, a lot of the times the old Big 8 teams weren't talked about as much during the week as the old Southwest Conference teams, and our players would hear all that stuff. But I really think it's because so many of their players have been from Texas. More of their players have been from Texas than the Oklahoma players. And Mike's done a really good job recruiting East Texas into Houston. So those guys come in here mad.
Mack, safe to say is the biggest in-season recruiting weekend for y'all, would you say?
This one in Oklahoma. But yes, on our campus for sure. We got huge numbers coming in this weekend and some official visits.
Do you know how many official visits?
3, I think, right now. Could be 4. But just about everybody else that's not in a playoff game Saturday, that affects some. And then next week we don't have a game, and then we've got a Thanksgiving game, and a lot of the kids that are still playing can't come on Thanksgiving because they're playing. So that's why this one's so huge. And what kids have done now, recruiting's so different, is they'll mark with us and Oklahoma and A&M and then Baylor and Tech and TCU, and they'll mark the games they're going to go to in preseason. So if they are committed, they'll say, I'm definitely coming to this one, Coach. I can't get to the others. So this has been one that most of them marked for a long time.
Early in the season, talking to some recruits, they said, after the slow start, maybe slid Texas down. Now it seems like a lot of guys are moving Texas back up. That's something y'all are noticing?
Yeah, we're right in the middle of some good stuff right now, and you got to keep winning. I mean, they wanted to make sure we were back on track and see what we were made of. And this team's just found a way to win. You know, we've gone back to the no excuses, no regrets, next man up, and that's what it is. And they've done it. They did a good job with that yesterday in practice. And we didn't talk about missing Chris and Jonathan. We talked about who's stepping up. Come on, Hassan Ridgeway and Paul Boyette and Alex Norman. Come on, Kent Perkins. Come on, Chris Reiser. Your turn. You're on scholarship. And let's don't use this as an excuse. Let's use it as an opportunity.
Have you told Hassan Ridgeway you're gonna need him 30 snaps or something like that?
We haven't given him snaps. We've told him that we want to see him earn the number of snaps he'd like to get. So, but he had a lot of conversation over the last 3 days and did a good job yesterday.
Matt, Clint Shelf has been running the ball really well, knowing how you guys were susceptible to that early in the year. Where does that come into play in terms of what you're focusing on stopping?
Well, we've been much better late in the season than we were early in the season, obviously, but I'm sure they've watched those film. And what both of their quarterbacks can do is be very balanced against the run and the pass. And they can both run option. And Clint wasn't that guy early in the year, and he's become that guy that can do both. And his legs against Texas Tech were very evident when he just took it and outran everybody and really surprised all of us how fast he is. And now he's gotten his confidence, and they believe in that. So they'll be difficult to stop.
If you're an offensive coach getting ready to play Texas, I mean, do you even look at the film of BYU? Have things changed so much for Texas that film would be worth anything to you?
No, probably what you do is you throw it on just to try to figure out what happened, but you don't study it because it's you go back and I'm sure that Ole Miss and Kansas State were studying Michigan film and probably even Syracuse defense because Greg didn't do what he believed in at Michigan. It was a different defense, really. So they'd probably go back to our 04 year and look at some of the things. But they will – normally you look at anybody who's similar to you. So they'll study Holgerson hard and West Virginia hard because they know Mike. Dana knows Mike. I'm sure they've talked to West Virginia this week. That's what you do, and go back and say, okay, what'd you see? What would you have done differently? And that's kind of what happens during the week. A lot of coaches share ideas.
Desmond Rollins kind of come out of nowhere and kind of sparked their offense. What has impressed you about him?
He just can fly. He's got the unique ability to run up inside the tackles, but against Iowa State, he made one of the best runs any of us have seen with that 58-yard touchdown run where everybody hit him. So he's really good, and he's changed who they are too. I mean, he's stepped it up and gotten everybody's attention.
Their tactics change with Roland and Shelf, replacing.
No, they Mike's done a really good job. It's kind of like us here on defense. He changed coordinators on offense, but didn't change offenses. And early in the year, they were trying to figure out who they were, and they were back and forth at quarterback, ran the option to beat Mississippi State, and then JW came out, and Clint went in, and then it changed a little bit more. But I think really Tech is where they became who they are and got excited about it, and I think that's the type effort we'll see in here Saturday.
How much do they throw deep?
They can throw deep. You look at Tracy is one of the best receivers in the country now. He's a top pro prospect. Tracy Moore, 6'2", 215, and he's got 35 catches, but last year they got us on the pop pass all the time where they're running the ball so well, and they just come up and hit you behind the linebackers and in front of the safeties, and he's a big, tall guy that can run. So he is definitely their threat inside. And then they've got Stewart outside, and we're not sure whether he'll play or not or how much he'll play because he's really a good football player as well. He's caught 40 passes and does their punt returns.
Matt, do you think this rushing attack right now with Roland and Jeremy Smith may be the best rushing offense you guys will face on here?
I do. I think it's the best two lines of scrimmage that we've seen so far, which is kind of gone untalked about. But in studying them now for 2 or 3 days, they're good lines of scrimmage. 99 on defense will be a top pro prospect. I mean, he's a guy that nobody's blocked. Barnett, Calvin, we had trouble with him last year. And he really gave us problems, and nobody's blocked him. But they're good inside.
Coach, not asking you to call out the student, nor would I expect you to, but over the past couple of years, have there been games where you can tell a difference between when the student body is into it and giving you a home field advantage, and sometimes you may have needed them.
Yeah, there have been times where I might not have come the way we've played. Very honestly, I'm not hurting us or being rude, but we need them out there this weekend. This is support your school, support your team, come out and help us, and also have some fun. Enjoy the veterans. This team has earned the right to have people come out Saturday and watch them. They fought their guts out and against all odds, and everything. Injuries, tough play sometime, losses early, distractions, criticism. These guys have earned my respect. So I think they're going to play good on Saturday. But let's all go say thank you to them and help them. Let's help them here at the end, because that's really important.
There's been distractions?
Yeah, you all wouldn't know, because you all sure weren't part of it.
Our team
Good
not-
friends.
Our team not kicking to Gilbert, are they pooching much, or just trying to get?
No, they're
out
still
in?
kicking it to him some, and he's just running it right back. He's really good, so fast and strong, and he's a very, very good football player and corner. I mean, he's going to be a top pick in the NFL. They've got more pro prospects that are seniors in my estimation than anybody we've played. And I didn't realize all this. You see them when you're not getting ready to play them, and you know they're talented, but they're very talented.
Is Ash continuing to progress?
Yes, I talked to him yesterday, and just what's happened is he'll go 8 days and then have a little headache or something. So they're just being very protective of him, but he's going to be fine.
All set?
Okay, thank you all.